All right, you guys. This is a white boy that goes by the name of 1090 Jake. 1090 Jake is the one that be getting people's paperwork. 1090 Jake gets all the snitches' paperwork. All right. He's a white boy. He's from Boston. He has a very heavy accent, Italian accent, it looks like. 1090 Jake lives in Tampa, Florida. All right. So he came in via Boston. Now, 1090 Jake is supposedly a blood. He claimed blood. All right. He's the one that exposes all the rappers. 1090 Jake, he goes through, he does the logistics. He searches for rappers' paperwork. He's able to find paperwork on rappers, do extensive research and go beyond the means of what the average person would go to retrieve this information. But he got it. And 1090 Jake is the most accurate person in this department when it comes to getting rappers paperwork. All right, paperwork party. So if you snitching out here, this man is able to get that paperwork, access it like as if a lawyer would get access to that information. All right. Now, as of lately, 1090 Jake has been going back and forth with Kodak Black. Shot to Kodak Black, Zo life or no life, Zo shit, no whole shit. That part. All right. 1090 Jake, he has a horse in this race. So Kodak Black just recently did a song with 6ix9ine, all right, in which he got paid M's to do the song with 6ix9ine. Now, obviously, that was met with a lot of backlash, controversial, a lot of backlash was behind that, right? Some people feel like they don't care that he did the right thing for his family. Some people are contrary to that, and they feel like he broke the code. Nonetheless, 1090 Jake has chimed in. Now, he chimed in. Now, 1090 Jake chiming in, it's not genuine because, of course, it looks like he has some correlation with the gang, all right? And that's the 9 Trey. I forgot what set he is. We ain't gonna claim out the sets. I know the sets out here, but it's L.O.T.S. We ain't snitching on the streets, but we the leaders of the streets, all right? You guys do your research at home. But nonetheless, he has something to do with this gang. Not to say that that's his gang. I'm not saying he comes out of that chapter, what have you, but he identifies with those 9 Trey members. So I guess he feels like he's compelled to speak on their behalf now, in which he goes off on Kodak. Now, him and Kodak is going back and forth, all right? His thing is about Kodak. You working with a known informant that put members away. Kodak is saying that 1090 Jake is actually a snitch also. Now, I've never seen nobody. That's a good question, right? It's a good topic. Because 1090 Jake is able to get information that most people are not privy to in the manner that he's getting the information and releasing the information. It sometimes make you think. But that's not even where I'm going with it, all right? Not even so much about the Kodak Black and 1090 Jake, whether 1090 Jake is right or wrong. My thing is, I don't know about, okay, I got to keep it all, I got to keep it real. This is not a biased platform, but I got to speak about culture vultures, right? And it's not to say that he's extremely a culture vulture, but 1090 Jake is speaking about black people, right? He's getting paperwork on black people. I've seen he's done a couple Caucasians, a couple white people's done on, but for the most part, he's mostly just exposing black people. And he's a white gang member. I don't know about white gang members, y'all. How do you guys feel about white gang members in black gangs? Sometimes you have to take in the fact that there is going to be a hidden agenda. It's inevitable. It's unavoidable. It's instinctual. When you have white and black, you got to remember the first rule of the first instinct, cardinal rule, is preservation of yourself, to preserve yourself. All right, so that's the first human instinct, is to preserve yourself. It is survival of the fittest. Hello, this is survival of the fittest. So when you talk about a white man in the black gang, I'm not sure if that white man would be 100% in the black gang's interest for the black culture, right? Because these gangs are to uphold black people at the end of the day, right? These are black, Bloods and Crips are black. These are black-oriented gangs. So their main objective should be to assist black people, right? So now you have a white man that's tearing down black people. I think that we should tear down our own people, not necessarily saying that we're going to tear down. Meaning, if we are going to condemn or give life to any celebritized person or any person in the black community, That should be our responsibility. They shouldn't have a white man tearing down, targeting black people in our community, right? We already got other situations that do that, and I'm not gonna go into that, right? But I don't know if you guys are understanding, but white niggas in black gangs is not gonna work because there's an ulterior motive there. You can't tell me that they're genuinely 100% are in the best interest of that black person, right? And we should be the ones that are governing our own people. Black people should be governing black people. We shouldn't always be looking for outside cultures to govern us. I always say this in the black community, even with the whole police thing. When we're in the black community, we shouldn't wait for a police officer to come govern our community. If you see some niggas tripping on the block, if you see some kids tripping on the block causing chaos, if it's not warranted, we shouldn't have to have police come into our community and govern our community. I think sometimes we can do a better job before it even gets to that point. Not to say, of course, sometimes police have to be involved because sometimes it's bigger than us, right? But a lot of situations that transpire in the black community, the neighbors could have kind of mediated it, right? The neighbors could have contained that if we had the proper tools, right? The proper teachings. But we, as black people, we got to govern our community and don't always wait for the officers to come govern our community. We, as black people, we need to govern our celebrities. Don't let the white media destroy, condemn our black leaders. We shouldn't always let outside nations govern our community, tear down our leaders. Once again, we as black people, we need to govern our leaders. We'll do a better job at it. If we're gonna hold our leaders accountable, let it be the black people that's holding our leaders accountable. So once again, I don't approve of 1090 Jake with all his methods. Now, the paperwork is the paperwork. If you snitching out here, you snitching out here. But I don't agree with 1090 Jake being elected to expose. Like, you see I'm elected to talk for the streets? It seems like somebody elected 1090 Jake to expose black people. And I don't condone that. I'm not for that. We're gonna condemn, we're gonna give life. We're gonna be the ones that judge and govern our community. We're not gonna let white people outside of our community govern our community, right? And that's what I want to see more in our community. Let's not wait for police to come to our community to stop the fighting. Some of that fighting ain't necessary. Some fighting is necessary. I'm not telling you be no superhero. I'm not telling you to involve yourself in things that you need not involve yourself in. But some of the things that happen in the black community, we could have been the ones to mediate that, to diffuse it. And that's what we need to do. We need to take the time out to diffuse the things in our community, right? Guess what? If we do that, it's going to be less people getting arrested. It's going to be less violence. Things are going to least likely to escalate. Right? So what does that in turn? That means less felons in our community, right? Because at the end of the day, when these things transpire, these kids go to jail, they lose time, they lose their family, and all types of things that happens in the process of going to jail in the black community. And you get these felonies and you can't even get a job when you come out. And that was the main thing what I was trying to say, right? So let's govern our community. Let's stop letting other nations govern the black community. I think we can do a little bit more better. And it starts on the ground level. It starts in the neighborhood. So when you guys are in your neighborhoods, you know what I mean? If you guys have a chance, if you guys get a chance to stick your head in some situations, if you're respected in your neighborhood like I am, if you're respected in your hood like I am, make sure that sometimes you got to intervene. All right. And let's try to de-escalate some of these situations. All right, let's try to diffuse some of these situations in our community and don't wait for the police to come do it. Because when the police come to do it, it's too late. All right. Now, moving right along. Listen, let's reset the room. This is the Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast, episode number 48. All right, we on our way. Countdown to episode number 50. I'm the incomparable, the author imitated, but cannot be duplicated. The one they took their style from, the elected, the appointed. I keep making it, they keep taking it. Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast, episode number 48. This is powered by L.O.T.S. Approved Media. That part. Now,